coming. The questions, and always the question, why? The only way I could deal with it was to go public and to try to make amends as much as possible.
Dr. Rosler publicly apologized and was fined 7,200 Deutschmarks, less than $4,000.
In this country, sometimes people didn't think because other people thought for them. So why they should think about, they couldn't change anything. So they worked in the system, they were part of the system. They did what other people told them.
The person who told Dr. Rosler what to do was this man, Dr. Lothar Kipke, the top doctor of the East German Swimming Federation. The case against Dr. Kipke captured the world's attention when two athletes came forward with an explosive accusation. Martina Faraka and Jutta Klaas, roommates at age 10, now have something else in common.
After sports school, we lost touch. We are back together now because we both have children with birth defects.
Jutta Klaas's daughter, Corinna, was born with an inoperable cataract and glaucoma in her left eye.
I believe with certainty that my daughter's blindness is because of the hormones. The worst part for me is how I will explain this to my daughter one day, that she has to live with this. It's something that keeps me awake at night.
I had problems with every one of my pregnancies, and no one could ever explain why.
Martina Faraka's 15-year-old son Daniel was born with a club foot, and despite numerous surgeries, he remains disabled. Both women hold Dr. Kipke responsible for what happened to their children.
I told him, look my child in the face and look at what you have done. Explain to him why you have done this to him. And he couldn't. And then his attorney stood up and objected.
We know many other athletes who have children with club feet, spina bifida or blindness. We are not the only ones.
Dr. Kipke's trial lasted just one day. He was convicted, but sentenced to probation, not prison.
There was no apology. He just said he had orders to follow from higher up. So there was nothing he could have done.
There was just one last chance for justice.
When we come back, one more bombshell. The two men accused of masterminding this heinous plan go on trial. What punishment do you think they deserve? What would the court decide?
A day of reckoning for all the world to see. Former athletes who want justice and secret documents revealing more grotesque details. A government plan for greatness that would stop at nothing.
There were cases where they, and now I quote, abortion was ordered by the government.
The perfect race.
The Friesen Sports Stadium, the showcase of East Germany's triumphant success in sports, would become a sad symbol of the havoc and destruction caused by State Plan 1425. Over the years, more than 40 coaches, doctors, and trainers have been convicted, and 40 times they've been given a slap on the wrist. The last chance for justice would be the trial against Manfred Ewald, the former chief of East Germany's Olympic team, and Manfred Hoppner, his top-ranking medical director. Both men declared they were innocent. From all over Germany, top athletes travel to Berlin for this final trial. They are not seeking money, but say they've been given life sentences and wonder if anyone will spend even a day in prison.
These athletes who are now in the courtroom, that takes immense courage. They are still considered, I now quote, sports traitors.
Sports traitors?
Sports traitors are those who tell secrets of their drug and treatment and others to the public, to other nations. These are original Stasi files.
By now, the court evidence was nothing short of overwhelming, and Dr. Franke has read it all, tens of thousands of documents detailing the side effects that have ravaged the health of athletes.
These are the reports, in this case of Dr. Hoppner.
For 10 years, Franke has known about the liver and kidney damage, the ovarian cysts, the shrinking uteruses, But even he has been stunned by the dark secrets he's uncovered in the Stasi files.
There were cases where some got pregnant, and, I quote, abortion was ordered by the government.
The East German government ordered athletes to have abortions?
I have quoted from a report of this Dr. Höppner, who is currently under trial.
Dr. Franke says one athlete, a cross-country skier, told him she was forced by a team doctor to have an abortion at age 17.
She today still suffers from that happening a decade ago. And she wants this to be punished in the courtroom. She said, I should never have been forced to an abortion at the time.
What possible explanation could Dr. Höppner, the alleged mastermind of State Plan 1425, have for a system that resorted to such tactics?
The biggest mistake we made was that we noted everything down very conscientiously. And that is why we are now at the center of media attention, as though we had been the only ones in the world who broke the rules of sport.
After 2 months of testimony, the verdict was announced. Dr. Höppner and Manfred Ewald were both found guilty of causing bodily harm to young athletes. The judge declared Ewald was the driving force behind State Plan 1425 and that he kept it going with merciless hardness. But once again, the punishment was probation, not prison.
I want to make sure nothing like this happens again.
For Carola Nitschke and the other Wonder Girls, there is a sad chapter yet to be written.
To me, the medals have lost their value. They don't mean anything to me.
Nitschke has voluntarily given back the gold medals she won at the age of 14.
What do you think about these people who now say that you should relinquish your medals, that you don't deserve them?
I don't think I should have to return my medal. I trained very hard and I didn't know I was being doped. And who's to say that the other swimmers I competed against weren't also being doped?
I just think it's a tragedy for those girls. You know, here we are. Of course, I don't have a medal, but I'm sure glad that I'm sitting here healthy. My kids are healthy. But I wouldn't take my health for what they're sitting through right now.
Okay, one more race. For Wendy Bolio, who trained for years in hopes of winning a gold medal at the Olympics, there is little solace in knowing she was right back in 1976.
What do you think should be done?
Personally, I'm not interested in having any of those women's medals. What we have pushed for is at least put it in the record books. Look, these women from East Germany were on. It is proven they were on steroids. Here, we'd like to acknowledge the United States women who could have placed. The point is to make sure it doesn't happen again. To have some sort of recognition would be nice, but the most important thing is so it doesn't happen again. So another country or state or parent doesn't say, hey, I'm going to give my kid the edge by sticking these drugs into them.
Rika Reinisch, whose heart problem has worsened since our interview, is left to wonder what price she will pay for her 3 gold medals.
The worst for me isn't what they did to my health.
And it is a new Olympic record for Rika Reinisch.
I thought after all this time I would be numb. But when I see the joy and know how unbelievably hard I trained to achieve it all, it sweeps me away. I still get goosebumps. But they took away from me the opportunity to ever know if I could have won the gold medals without the steroids. That's the greatest betrayal of all.
You may wonder why we chose to focus on women athletes, because men were also part of the experiment. But women often suffer more dramatic and permanent effects from steroid use than men do. And one final note. This past August, a special ceremony was held at the U.S. Olympic swim trials to honor the 1976 swim team, those women who turned in an outstanding performance without the use of drugs. But of course, they didn't receive medals at the ceremony.